Guess who's back? After a, 2-month hiatus from the YouTube, I've decided it's time to make a comeback. This time we're spicing things up a little bit. You know, previously I didn't really have a game plan. I've posted 3 videos ever. Kind of just sporadically when I felt like it. YouTube for me, I'm now going to use as a tool, as a bit of a digital diary, to be able to look back in 10, 20 years and watch how 19-year-old me acted, spoke, mannerisms, etc., where he was at in life. To be actually able to look back as someone who struggles to reflect. Yes, I journal and I do that sort of thing, but I don't often seek reflection. I don't go back in time looking and comparing myself to the person I was then, the person I am now, because I'm just constantly looking forward. It's almost just tunnel vision. So eventually one day when I've done the things I want to achieve and look back, this hopefully is going to be a good way for me to reflect and be proud of how far I've come. Now, what am I going to post in here? Well, I'm hoping for this to be a way for me to show a bit of a more human side of myself, for me to actually open up and talk about some things that I'm passionate about, and talk about some things I know you guys might struggle with and I struggle with, and to just document my journey about business, about whatever it may be, trading, gym, etc. Like, just my journey from regular 19-year-old to uber successful whatever-year-old, because in my head it's inevitable. First topic is a thing that every single person struggles with. I've never met anyone in my whole life that hasn't struggled with it at some stage, and if they tell you they don't, they're fucking lying. I can guarantee you. I have struggled with this massively, it's particularly over the last 8 months. And this thing is making decisions for yourself and your future that are shunned or frowned upon or are quite dramatic, whether this be dropping out of uni like I've just done, or quitting a childhood sport like I've also just done, or whatever it may be, losing friends, having that conversation, whatever it may be. Everyone knows that there's actions that you just have to take, because you know that that's the best. It's got your best interest in mind. It's essentially, it is at its core having your best interest in mind, even if others think otherwise. Go against what you're saying or what you want to do. Everyone struggles with it, and everyone, particularly going through high school and you're just trying to conform and fit in, removing yourself from that environment and having to navigate life as an adult by yourself, and not having to answer to anyone, and not having anyone to please. It can take a different amount of time for some people to adjust to that and get out of that fishbowl mindset, and you don't have to just conform. Look, a goldfish only grows to the size of the bowl. So the bigger the bowl and the more dramatic the decisions you make, the more you're going to grow, inevitably. That's just how it works. And as someone who's super ambitious, more often than not, the decisions I make about my future at the time look like utter stupidity to those that can't see the vision in your head. Because you can't expect others to understand your vision, because it's your vision for a reason. Someone's calling me. Hang on, I'll get back to you. I'm back. I completely lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going. I know I was talking about making decisions for you, and the big decisions. You can't expect people to understand your vision, because it's your vision for a reason. And people can't peer into your head and see what your destiny is, can they? No, they can just see what's in front of them. Over time, if you move with enough conviction, people are going to come to. So the person I was just talking with on the phone is my best friend Jacob. He recently quit his job. Like, he made the decision that I'm done, because it wasn't providing him fulfillment, and he wants more for his life. And look, if he had have asked permission. If he had asked me, I would have sort of told him he was crazy. But, you know, you make the decision and you stand on it and you move with conviction about what you want. No one can argue anything. No matter how crazy the decision initially seemed, eventually people come around when you start moving like, this is my life, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Look, you got to know what you want. And you're not expected to know what you want overnight, but the way I tell people is to how to know what you want is know what you don't want. It's a process of elimination. Go one by one. What don't I want with my life? What don't I want to do? What regrets do I not want to have at 70? And slowly, over time, you will come to understand what the life that you seek is. And it may be drastically different to the one you're living now, and it may be drastically different to the path that you're currently on. So then you go, fuck, I've got some calls to make. I've got decisions to make. And then you just got to make them. You just got to suck it up and make them, because otherwise you're going to be looking back at 50, 60, 70, like, fuck. You know, my life would have been so much easier. Even if you wake up at 35 and say, all right, I want to make this thing work, you're going to be sitting there like, oh, my life would have been so much easier had I made a couple different decisions in my 20s. Now, you can't go back and reverse things, but we're young. And you can make decisions now that you know are going to positively impact you for the future, that are going to pay dividends down the road. So, what am I getting to with this? Ultra ambitious people, you are going to be absolutely miserable unless you move with utmost conviction and make decisions with utmost conviction about what you want with your life. Regardless of what... Fucking, there's birds, there's a lot going on. Can you hear that? I'm back. I don't know if you could hear that. My neighbour tore down the driveway bumping, I don't know, it was a pretty good song. Pretty fucking loud. So I've lost my train of thought yet again. Fuck. Anyway, I was saying something about making decisions, and you know you got to make them, and otherwise you're going to be miserable. And that's at the point of my life where I'm currently at, and that's why I'm talking about it, because it's something that I'm currently going through. Look, I dropped out of, you know, engineering. Look, going to be a comfortable life, going to be a safe life, going to be a, you know, great job, great career. But where's the fulfillment in that? Climbing the corporate ladder, you know, like working for someone else, or, you know, finally working for yourself at 35. That's nothing. That's so miserable to me. That's so sad. That just seems like a waste of my potential. Hence why I'm starting a startup tech company and trying to make it big with trading at 19. I know it's an atypical route, but, you know, to each their own. Everyone's got a different path. Everyone's got different desires with their life, and so be it. So if you know you're ultra ambitious and you know you have to make some decisions, and you know you got to stray away from the current path you're on, the sooner you do it, the easier it'll be. It's never going to be hard. It's never going to be easy. It's always going to be hard, but the sooner you get it done, the sooner you stop procrastinating it, the easier it will be. And I can promise you that. I can guarantee that. Look, I dropped out of uni in November, and I told my parents on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like, the whole time that was in my back of my head, I knew it was bound to happen. Why didn't I tell them at the time? Fear. I just procrastinated over and over and over again. Fear was the only limiting factor there. And I told them, and I made it so much worse, the fact that I didn't tell them initially. So, anyway, story of the day. I'm back to YouTube. We're going to do some of these. It's going to be a digital diary. I'm going to take you around. I'm going to take you, show you my life, what I get up to, what I'm striving for, what I'm building. You know, that's me. And I've got big goals, big dreams. I'm going to take you along, because this is going to be a digital diary, and I'm going to look back in 20 years saying, fuck yeah. So enjoy. Happy Tuesday, the 19th of January. Done.